Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalai Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Dear devotees, we are continuing our study of Bhakti Vaibhava, study of 6th canto of Srimad Bhagvatam. We are in chapter 18, birth of Marutas, and how they become demigods instead of becoming Daitya, the son of Diti. So we are in the section, Diti's desire to kill Indra and Kashyap's reflection. So we are in the section of Kashyap's reflection. And what Kashyap is reflecting, he is reflecting upon the woman's nature. And verse number 42, today we are discussing right now. This section is from 39 to 43 verses. Nahi kasyat priya strinam anjasa swasishatmanam Patim putram bhratram va ghananti arthaghatayanti cha. To satisfy their own interest, women deal with men as if the men were most dear to them, but no one is actually dear to them. Women are supposed to be very saintly, but for their own interest, they can kill even their husbands, sons, and brothers, or cause them to be killed by others. Srila Prabhupada has a purport. A woman's nature has been particularly well studied by Kashyap Muni because he has so many wives. Women are self-interested by nature, and therefore they should be protected by all means so that their natural inclination to be too self-interested will not be manifested. Women need to be protected by men. Woman should be cared for by her father in her childhood, by her husband in her youth, and by her grown sons in her old age. This is the injunction of Manu, who says that woman should not be given independence at any stage. Women must be cared for so that they will not be free to manifest their natural tendency for gross selfishness. There have been many cases, even in the present day, in which the women have killed their husband to take advantage of their insurance policies. This is not a criticism of women, but a particular study of their nature. Such a natural instinct of a woman or a man are manifested only in bodily conception of life. When either a man or woman is advanced in spiritual consciousness, the bodily concept of life particularly vanishes. We should see all women in spiritual units as spiritual units, Aham Brahmasmi, whose only duty is to satisfy Krishna. Then the influence of the different modes of material nature which result from once possessing a material body will not act. The Krishna conscious movement is so beneficial that it can very easily counteract the contamination of material nature which result from once possessing a material body. Bhagavad Gita therefore teaches in the very beginning that whether one is a man or woman, one must know that he or she is not the body but a spirit soul. Everyone should be interested in the activities of the spirit soul, not the body. As long as one is activated by the bodily conception of life, there is always a danger of being misled whether one is man or woman. The soul is sometimes described as Purusha because whether one is dressed as a man or woman, one is inclined to enjoy this material world. One who has this spirit of enjoyment is described as Purusha. Whether one is man or woman, he is not interested in serving others. Everyone is interested in satisfying his or her own senses. Krishna consciousness, however, provides first-class training for the man or a woman. A man should be trained to be a first-class devotee of Krishna, and a woman should be trained to be very chaste follower of her husband. That will make the lives of both of them happy. Chakravarti Pad writes, Swasishta Atmanam means women who makes efforts by their own desire. Thus they do not act for the happiness of husband. It can be taken as a compound in which the noun ending is not dropped. Okay. Last verse of this section. I promised to give her a benediction, and this promise cannot be violated. But Indra does not deserve to be killed. In these circumstances, the solution I have is quite suitable. So he has made his mind that he will fulfill the desire of Diti in such a way that she gets purified and Indra gets saved. So you want to achieve the both goals. Purport. Kashyap Muni concluded, Diti is eager to have a son who can kill Indra, since she is a woman after all and is not very intelligent. I shall train her in such a way that instead of always thinking of how to kill Indra, she will become a Vaishnava, a devotee of Krishna. If she agrees to follow the rules and regulations of Vaishnava principles, the unclean core of her heart will certainly be cleansed. Chetodarpan Marjanam. This is the process of devotional service. Anyone can be purified by following the principle of devotional service in Krishna consciousness. For Krishna consciousness is so powerful that it can purify even the dirtiest class of men and transfer them into the topmost Vaishnava. And Srila Prabhupada's preaching is the proof of that. So many people at that time, it is not in the purport, so many people Prabhupada has, they had the dirtiest habits of that time as the hippies, and they are the exalted Vaishnava presently. So this is possible. When Prabhupada is writing this purport, it is his personal realization. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement aims at this purpose. Narottam Das Thakur says, Brajandara Nandana Jai Sachi Sutta Haila Sai Balarama Haila Nitai Dina Hina Yata Chila Harinama Udharila Tara Sakshi Jagai Madhai. The appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this Kali Yuga is specifically meant to deliver the fallen souls who are always planning something for material enjoyment. He gave the people of this age the advantage of being able to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and thus become fully pure and free from all material contamination. Once one become a pure Vaishnava, he transcends all material conception of life. Thus Kashyap Muni tried to transform his wife into Vaishnavi so that she might give up the idea of killing Indra. He wanted both her and her sons to be purified so that they would be fit to become pure Vaishnavas. Of course, sometimes a practitioner deviates from the Vaishnava principle, and there is a chance that he may fall down. But Kashyap Muni thought that even if falls while practicing Vaishnava principle, he is still not a loser. Even a fallen Vaishnava is eligible for better result, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Swalpamasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even practicing Vaishnava principle to a small extent can save one from the greatest danger of material accident. Thus, Kashyap Muni planned to instruct his wife Diti to become Vaishnava because he wanted to save the life of Indra. So then we have a question on this. In question bank, you can check what is that. The meaning is this: I will teach her a Vaishnava austerity. When her heart becomes purified by that austerity, she will no longer have anger at Indra. Thus she will not want to kill him. She will not kill Indra because the Vaishnava vow she undertake will not bestow evil result even if desired. However, then the words of request in her prayer will be nullified, since Han can mean go as well as kill. She will have a son who will follow Indra instead of killing him, who will be a devata, not a demon. Because of the length of the vow, there will certainly be some irregularity in her performance, but by that vow her mind will be concentrated while she is unaware of it. Though there may be irregularity in the Vaishnava vow, the result will still be given. Her efforts will thus be successful. So now next section 45 to 54. 44 to 54, Kashyap instructed in Punsavan vow, Punsavan worth. Iti sanchitya Bhagavan Marichaha Korunandana Vacha kinchita kupitaha atmanam cha vigrahayan. So Marichi, it means son of Marichi, Marichi Rishi. So Sukdev Goswami said, Kashyap Muni, thinking in this way, becomes somewhat angry, condemning himself. O Maharaj Parikshit, descendant of Kuru, he spoke to the Diti as follows. What is going to speak? Kashyap saying, Kashyap Muni said, my dear gentle wife, if you follow my instruction regarding this vow for at least 1 year, you will surely get a son who will be able to kill Indra. However, if you deviate from this vow of following the Vaishnava principle, you will get a son who will be favorable to Indra. So he made it clear even before speaking about the vow. So he will not be criticized. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The word Indraha refers to the Asura, who is always eager to kill Indra. An enemy of the Indra is naturally a friend of the Asura. But the word Indraha also refers to one who follows Indra or who is obedient to him. When one becomes a devotee of the Indra, he is certainly a friend to the demigods. Thus the word Indraha Deva Bandhava are equivocal, for they say, your son will kill Indra, but he will be very friendly to the demigods. If a if a person actually become a friend of the demigod, he certainly would not be able to kill Indra. Meaning desired by Diti was that she would get a son who would kill Indra and be a friend of the demons. Kashypa's meaning, however, was that she would get a son who would follow Indra and be a friend of Devatas. So the word Kashyap used, which has two meanings. Diti was satisfied this is meaning in my favor, and Kashyap was knowing that this meaning is in my favor. So these are the equivocal words, and this is quite interesting. So Diti said, yes, I will do that. My dear Brahman, I must accept your advice and follow the vow. Now let me understand what I have to do. What is forbidden? What will not break the vow? Please clearly state all this to me. Srila Prabhupada writes, as stated above, woman is generally inclined to serve her own purposes. Kashyap Muni proposed to train Diti to fulfill her desires within 1 year, and she was eager to kill Indra. She immediately agreed, saying, please let me know what the vow is and how I have to follow it. I promise that I shall do the needful and not break the vow. This is another side of woman's psychology. Even though a woman is very fond of fulfilling her own plan, when someone instructs her, especially her husband, she innocently follows, and thus she can be trained for better purposes. By nature, a woman wants to be a follower of a man. Therefore, if the man is good, the woman can be trained for a good purpose. So Kashyap is a good man, so he's training Diti on a good side. Sri Kashyap Vaja, Nahinasya, these are the don'ts now. From this verse, don'ts are starting. Kashyap Muni said, my dear wife, to follow this vow, do not be violent or curse or cause harm to anyone, number 1. Do not curse anyone, number 2. And do not speak lie, number 3. Do not cut your nails and hair, 4. And do not touch impure things like skull and bones. So these are a couple don'ts. Kashyap Muni's first instruction to his wife was not to be envious. This is the whole theory of this, is not to be envious. The general tendency of anyone within this material world is to be envious, and therefore to become a Krishna conscious person, one must curb his tendency as stated in Srimad Bhagvatam. Paramo nirmatsranam sata. A Krishna conscious person is always non-envious, whereas others are always envious. Thus, Kashyap Muni's instruction that his wife not be envious indicate that this is the first stage of advancement in Krishna consciousness. So for us, this is a message that we are practicing Krishna consciousness. To be non-envious is a pre-requirement. We should be trained ourselves to be non-envious. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, those who are non-envious, they can only understand this knowledge. Where is that in Bhagavad Gita? 9th chapter, Anusuya way. The two qualifications were getting knowledge. One non-envious and other faithful. If he is faithless and envious, he will not get none. So, this non-enviousness is the beginning of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada writes. The Kashyap Muni desired to train his wife to be Krishna conscious, for this would suffice to protect both her and the Indra. The first rule forbid her from desiring to kill Indra. But if she should, this is first, what is the first line? She should not be violent, so how can she kill Indra? So generally the rules are such that she become non-violent. Now next verse says, my dear gentle wife, never enter the water while bathing.
How it is, how without any water?
It means like we are asked to go to the Radha Kund but never enter Radha Kund. Just take a water and bath outside. I was thinking on that. This is only the answer came to my mind. Should never enter in a water. Never be angry. Do not even speak or associate with wicked people. Never wear clothes that have not been properly washed. And do not put on the garland that has already been worn. Do not bath by entering water. Do not wear unwashed cloth. One should not wear a garland already worn by someone. Okay. Next. Never eat leftover food. Never eat prasad offered to Goddess Kali, Durga. And do not eat anything contaminated by flesh or fish. Do not eat anything brought or touched by a Shudra, nor anything even by a woman in her menstrual period. Do not drink water by joining your palms. In olden days, people used to go somewhere and get water like this. So you can have with right hand, not with the both hands. So with both hands, you should not take water. We were children, we know we used to go like this. Yes. With both hands we used to. And the left hand is impure. Left hand is impure. It should not be used. If at all you have to use it like this. Usually the elderly people used to drink like this. But the boys used to drink like this. Okay. Chakravarti Padhan, Srila Prabhupada writes, generally the goddess Kali is offered food containing meat and fish, and therefore Kashyap Muni strictly forbade his wife to take the remnants of such, not take the remnants of such food, okay? Forbade her. Actually, a Vaishnava is not allowed to take any food offered to the demigod. A Vaishnava is always fixed in accepting prasad offered to the Lord Vishnu. Although all these instructions, Kashyap Muni in a negative way instructing his wife how to become Vaishnavi. There are 5 restrictions in eating. So this is the restriction in eating. This verse is restriction in eating. Means food offered to Durga if food is touched by an ant. So this Chandi also means ant. So sometimes we have food in which there are ants. So that food should not be taken if somebody is following some vow. So ant also means, Chandi means ant.
Sometimes the people give alms by this way. They sometimes for the saints they give alms and they take by 2 hands. That's okay.
I have seen sadhus take everything from this hand and never touch this for eating. So there are certain rules which are right and which are wrong according to the time, place and circumstances. We know our devotees when offer the plate of prasad to the Lord, they take with both hands. Yeah. But sometimes they take only in one hand like this. And sometimes when they take, they have the mask on the nose that they should not smell that prasad. There are some rules. There are some strict rules are there somewhere. Chandika means an ant according to the dictionary. Okay, next verse. Verse 50. After eating, you should not go out to the street without having washed your mouth, hands and feet. This is the mistake that he will do. You should not go out in the evening or with your hair loose, nor should you go out unless you are properly decorated with ornament. You should not leave the house unless you are very grave and sufficiently covered. Srila Prabhupada writes, Kashyap Muni advised his wife not to go out onto the street unless she was well decorated and well dressed. He did not encourage the mini skirt that have now become fashionable. Huh? Mini skirts. What's it called?
Skirts. Mini skirt.
Yeah, mini skirt, whatever you call it. That's proper. In Oriental civilization, there was, when a woman goes out onto the street, she must be fully covered so that no man will recognize who she is. All these methods are to be accepted for purification. If one takes to Krishna consciousness, one is fully purified, and thus one remains always transcendent to the contamination of the material world. Chakravarti Pad writes, for going out of the house, there are 7 forbidden items. So for eating 5, for going out 7.
Don't these instructions are for us also? These instructions are for devotees also?
Who?
These instructions are generally for devotees also?
These are for Punsman Wo. Those who follow Punsman Wo. This is for that. But this is to make somebody Vaishnava. So Prabhupada has given certain instruction, at least minimum, for us to follow, like eating only with right hand. This like that Prabhupada gives minimum instruction for a Vaishnava etiquette, yes. You should not lie down without having washed both of your feet or without being purified, nor with wet feet or with your head pointed west or northeastern. All the devotees, they always check wherever I go, I just look immediately which side the head of the bed is facing. It should always be either east or south. South is good for sannyasi and sick man, and east is good for the grasta. So it should never be north and west.
But usually it is said for north only.
No head should be on north. It's only a dead body. When dead body is put in coffin, the head is towards north. That's the worst.
It is mentioned for west also, that not pointing towards west.
Yeah, head should not be towards west. It should be towards east or south. You should not lie naked or with other women or during the sunrise and sunset. This is another instruction, at least during the Sandhya time, which means sunset and sunrise. Nobody should be in the bed and sleeping. It's not good time at all. These are the 8 items forbidden for sleeping. So Chakravarti is giving more easier way to remember. 5 for the eating, 8 or say 7 for going out, 8 for sleeping. Next verse. Putting on washcloth, keeping always pure, being adorned with turmeric, sandalwood pulp and other auspicious items. Before breakfast, one should worship the cow, the Brahman, the goddess of fortune and supreme personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada writes, if one is trained to honor and worship the cow and Brahman, he is actually civilized. The worship of the Supreme Lord is recommended, and Lord is very fond of cows and Brahmanas. Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmanitaya Cha. In other words, civilization in which There is no respect for cows and Brahman is condemned. One cannot become spiritually advanced without acquiring the Brahmanical qualification and giving protection to the cows. Cow protection ensures sufficient food prepared with milk, which is needed to an advanced civilization. One should not pollute civilization by eating the flesh of the cows. The civilization must do something progressive, and then it is an Aryan civilization. Instead of killing the cow to eat flesh, civilized man must prepare various milk products that will enhance the condition of the society. If one follows the Brahmanical culture, he will become competent in Krishna consciousness. Now the positive rules are described. So from this verse, the do's are these are do's. The negative are called regulations and positives are called rules. Rules and regulation. And what are the other words for that? Do, don't, rules and regulation. What is the other, what the terminology used? Vidhi Nishedh. Vidhi Nishedh. So till now we have Nishedh. Now Vidhi. Vidhi means to do and Nishedh means not to do.
Is it also called Prabhuji Yam Niyam?
Yamunam. Oh, Yamunam, they are also, they are in a Ashtanga Yoga. They are Vidhi and Nishedh, yes. Oh, they are here with me? I have not seen who is with me. Hare Krishna. Prem Manjari's video is off. We have 13 online, not 12. 12. Yeah, 12 or 13 online. Okay? You are with me?
Yes.
Very much. Okay. So now the do's are the vidhi, are the name. Yam and name is also other word. Yes, you are right. With flower garlands, sandalwood pulp, ornament, and other paraphernalia, a woman following this vow should worship women who have sons and whose husbands are alive, who are living. This is called, the word used they call Swahagan ki puja. The woman who has a husband alive, that is called Swahagan, and she should be worshipped with all these paraphernalia. The pregnant wife should worship her husband and offer him prayers. She should meditate upon him, thinking that he is situated in her womb. Srila Prabhupada has a purport. The child in the womb is part of his husband's body. Therefore, husband through his representative indirectly remain within the womb of his pregnant wife. With living husband. Okay, next verse 54. Kashyap Muni continued, if you perform this ceremony called Panchavan, adhering to the vow with faith for at least 1 year, you will give birth to a son destined to kill Indra. But if there is any discrepancy in the discharge of this vow, the son will be friend of Indra. Now, when you go to the 8th canto, you will come across Aditi also asking Kashyap for some son who can help Indra to get his kingdom back. But there Kashyap will give the another vow, which is Payovrta, which is hardly 15 days. So for good purpose, small vow is sufficient. But for bad purpose, the lengthy vow that somehow or other they should be purified and vow should be nullified. I used to, when first time I was speaking on this subject, I said, children in the home usually tell to the father, I need motorcycle now. Now I have passed 7th. So you tell them, yes, you for 1 year, if you study nicely and get 90%, then you will get motorcycle. So it's easy to give a lengthy time and a good work to do. Then in the meantime, they will be too much busy in their own studies, they forget motorcycle. And they will never break their bones on the road. So for good thing, less time for woe, and for bad things, long time, because they must make some mistake and their evil desire should be purified in the process. 55. O King Parishad, Diti, the wife of Kashyap, agreed to undergo the purificatory process known as Punchman. Yes, she said, I shall do everything according to your instruction. With great jubilation, she became pregnant, having taken semen from Kashyap and faithfully began discharging the vow. Verse 56. O king, who are respectful to everyone, Indra understood Diti's purpose, and thus he contrived to fulfill his own interest, following the logic that self-preservation is the first law of nature. He wanted to break Diti's promise. Thus he engaged himself in the service of Diti, his aunt, who was residing in an ashram. So if you don't know who is your enemy and what he is planning, then you are not a good, intelligent person. So Indra was intelligent. He understood and he knew the plan of Diti. So he disguised as a small Brahman boy and came there as a servant to assist her in all her activities. But his interest was, he was waiting when Diti will become little lax in some rules and regulations that he can break her vow. So he has his own interest. Next verse 57. Indra served his aunt daily by bringing flowers, fruits, roots, and wood for yajna from the forest. He also brought kush, grass, leaves, sprouts, earth, water, exactly at a proper time. Last verse of this section. No, already birth of the Maruta. Now verse 58. So 55 to 64 is birth of Marutas. Evan tasya vratasthaya vratta chidram hari nirpa prepsuhu prechajah jimma jimmo mragga heva mragha krite. This is the analogy. Like the hunter is waiting for his. This is a very interesting analogy. Those hunters who want to catch the deer, they wear the deer skin and go along with the deer. They think it's a deer. So this is the, O King Parikshit, as the hunter of a deer become like a deer by covering his body with the deer skin and serving the deer. So Indra, although at heart the enemy of the son of Diti, become outwardly friendly and serve Diti in the faithful way. Indra's purpose was to cheat Diti as soon as he could find some fault in the way she discharged the vow of the ritualistic ceremony. However, he wanted to be undetected, and therefore he served her very carefully. And Chakravartipad writes, in the desire to find some fault in her vow. This, however, was his misconception. It's a very good purport. Hare Krishna. This is very good purport, Nilmani ji. Hare Krishna. This is a very good purport. You try to understand this. Indra desired to find some fault in her woe. This, however, was his misconception. Why? Since whatever fault exists are nullified by remembering and glorifying Vishnu. Her woes should become faultless, even if there was a fault. It means, how can the woe, when somebody is thinking of Vishnu, how can his woe will be nullified? No. So, yasya smrtya cha namuktya tapo yagya kriyadishu nyonam sampurnattam eti sadyo vande tamachutam. I offer my obeisance unto the infallible Lord, because simply by either remembering him or chanting his name, all penances, sacrifices, fruitive activities become perfect. Skanda Purana. Mantratastantrascha chidram desha kala ahra vastutaha sarvam karoti nishchidram anusankirtanam tava. Srimad Bhagvatam. There may be a discrepancy in pronouncing the mantra and observance of regulative principles because of the discrepancies in regarding the time, place, person, and paraphernalia. But when your name is chanted, everything becomes faultless. It will be said later that Indra would not find any fault in her performance of vows. Mahapurusha Pujyasa Siddhi Kapi Anusangini. Liberation is a second result of worship of the Lord. 1873. Jehman means deception. The hunter disguised himself as deer to cheat the deer. Similarly, Indra disguised himself as the devotee servant to cheat Diti. So this is a very nice purport. Even if you have a mistake in woe, but because you are chanting, so that mistake is automatically rectified. Is there some verse in the Bhagavad Gita where we learn this? Any fault in our performance of some sacrifice? Om Tat Sat Iti Nirdesho Brahmanas Trivida Samartha. This is verse 17th chapter. By chanting Om Tat Sat, any deficiency or something missing in our performance of puja will be rectified automatically. Om Tat Sat. Therefore, Om Tat Sat, Prabhupada used to write at the end of the letter in early days Om Tat Sat. Some people say Hari Om Tat Sat. So that's okay. So Om. Yes, say Hari is only added to Om Tat Sat. That's okay. It means Om Tat Sat referred to Hari. That's all right. So this is the way to say Hare Krishna, all the Vishnu. This is what Bahaya, Bentra, Suchi, 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 Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. So simply by chanting the name of Vishnu from inside and outside both. So it means Indra was having a misconception that he will find the fault. So now this is the verse next. O master of the entire world, when Indra could find no fault, he thought, how will there be good fortune for me? Thus he was full of deep anxiety because Diti was following the woe very carefully. Now verse number 60. Ekada satu sandhyayam. One day, Diti, by the time of the Sandhya evening, Uchishta Vratta Karshita. She ate, but she was not able to wash her mouth, hands and feet. Asprishtaha means Achman. Vari Adhauta Angrihi, and she has not washed her feet. Shushvapa Vidhi Mohita. So, having grown weak and thin because of strictly following the principle of both Diti once, unfortunately neglected to wash her mouth, hands and feet after eating and went to sleep during the evening twilight. This is mistake. She did not perform Achman or wash her feet. Verse 61. Labdva tad antaram shakro. Indra found the loophole. Tad antaram. Indra prahita chetasaha dittehe praveshta udram yogeshwar yoga mayaya. Because he was very powerful mystic yogi, he becomes small with a anima siddhi and enter into the womb of Mother Diti. So finding this fault, Indra, who has all the mystic power, the yoga siddhis such as Anima and Daghima, entered Diti's womb while she was unconscious, being fast asleep. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Perfectly successful yogi is expert in 8 kinds of perfection, and one of them is called Anima Siddhi. He can become smaller than an atom, and in that state he can enter anywhere. With this yogic power, Indra entered the womb of Diti while she was pregnant. She was deep sleep. Verse 62. Chakrataha saptadha garbham. So he, with his thunderbolt, he make the 7 pieces of the embryo. Vajrena kanak prabham, but kanak prabham, kanak means like gold. But still these 7 pieces, they were shining as if they are not dead, they are alive. Rudantam, they were crying. Saptadhai kaikam, then he cut each piece into again 7. Maroditi tan puna, and then he told, please don't cry. Marodit, so their name became Marutta. After entering Diti's womb, Indra, with the help of his thunderbolt, cut into 7 pieces her embryo, which appeared like glowing gold. In 7 places, 7 different living beings began crying. Indra told them, do not cry, and then he cut each of them into 7 pieces again. Now there is a good purport here. How come there are 49 souls in one embryo? Huh?
He cut into 7, then again into 7, so 49.
But from where the souls come for 49? That is this purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that Indra, by his yogic power, first expanded the body of one Marut into 7. And then, when he cut each of the 7 parts of the original body into the pieces, there were 49. When each body was cut into 7, other 7 entities entered the new bodies. And thus they were like plants while becoming separate entities when cut into various parts and planted on the hill. The first body was one, and when it was cut into many pieces, many other living entities entered the new bodies. Chakravarti Pad's purport. He said, do not cry, Indra said, to comfort them. But then he cut them into 7 more parts each. Some say that a single Jeev can expand his body into 49 forms for the short time like a yogi. are like someone else enjoying a lot of both piety and sin. Like Sobri when he become 50, when he went to the Madanta to marry. So yogi can become 50, but for some time. One body can be like that. There's one saying. The other is, others say that knowing the future event, 49 jiva entered into one body. It means knowing that this one jiva is going to be divided into 49, so already 49 jiva entered in the one embryo. This is the another proposition. And then each of the 49 and one cut by Indra. What?
8 they can expand.
See, Kardam expand in 9 out of 1. Sobri, we become 50 out of 1 because of their yogic power. So one living entity can make 50 up till 50 bodies, something like that. By yogic power, yeah, at a time. This is possible, but this is not a case in this case. The other option given is that 49 living entities already knowing that we should go there because it's going to be 49 parts. And the third option, others say that 48 more jiva entered each of other parts the moment that Indra cut up one fetus, just as a separate jiva enter each branch when a person cut branch off a creeper or a bush and plants them in the ground. Prabhupada has taken the last option in the purport. In Srila Prabhupada's purport, the last option is accepted. That every time a new jiva entered in a part which was cut by Indra. So there are 3 options here, and the last option Srila Prabhupada has accepted. So verse number 43. Now, O king, being very much aggrieved, they pleaded to Indra with folded hands, saying, Dear Indra, we are the Marutas, your brothers. Why are you trying to kill us? At this moment, Parikshit Maharaj become little, surprised. How come by Vajra they were not killed? Vajra is a very powerful weapon of Indra, and this is small embryo of the woman is still in the womb. How it is not killed? And Sukdev smiled. He said, how you were saved from Brahmastra? When you can be saved from Brahmastra, why can't the Marutas not saved from the Vajra? So it's very easy to accept this truth. Yuyam, this is the verse. Ma bhashit bharata mahyam, don't get it surprised. When the Indra saw that actually they were his devoted followers, he said to them, if you are all my brothers, you have nothing more to fear from me. Verse number 65. Sukdev Goswami said, my dear King Parikshit, you were burned by the Brahmastra of the Ashwasthama, but when Lord Krishna entered the womb of your mother, you were saved. Similarly, although the one embryo was cut into 49 pieces by the thunderbolt of Indra, they were all saved by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is why Parikshit was little thinking, how come this happened? So this Sukdev gave this answer to Parikshit. And now verse 66 and 7, this section going to be over. If one worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original person, even once, He received the benefit of being promoted to the spiritual world and possessing the same bodily feature as Vishnu. Diti worshipped Lord Vishnu for almost 1 year, adhering to the great vow. Because of such strength in spiritual life, the 49 Marutas were born. How then is it wonderful that the Marutas, although born from the womb of Diti, become equal to demigod by the mercy of Supreme Lord. So by once chanting you can go back to Godhead. Why not after 1 year Diti can get this benefit? So this is the answer of some of our questions. Verse 68 to 78, honest discussion between Diti and Indra now. Now the scene is over.
So we have 2-3 questions. First is Indra entered the womb of Diti.
Indra entered into the womb of Diti, yes.
He entered after she broke the vow. But he cannot enter her womb before that.
Because when somebody, this is even Lord Vishnu told to Indra that Bali Maharaj is now following the direction of Brahman, I cannot unlawfully dethrone him. So if somebody is on a path of religion, even Indra will not disturb him. Even Lord himself will not disturb him. So only until this is said, those saintly people in Dandakaranya which were not vigilant in their sadhana, they were killed by Asura. But those who were really very vigilant in their sadhana, nobody touches them. So there is always a fault on the practitioner, therefore he is victim of the Maya.
And for practical application, what are the faults that we should work on?
If we have fault, then Maya will catch us.
No, what are the faults that we should work on so that we do not fall like that?
Yes, we should be very vigilant in our vows that Maya should not find out the loophole and deceive us. And Maya can do that. Yes.
And Prabhuji, one more. This example is given that when a branch is cut into pieces and again planted. So a new jiva enters that branch, or what happens?
What?
There are 3 examples are given in verse 62. 3 like 49 jivas how they entered. So this example is given that each branch when a person cuts.
See, it is like that. Some plants you just cut a branch,
Yes.
put it some other place, and it comes as a tree.
So a new jiva enters.
It means that some soul enters into that. There are some things like all these the wheat and that what they do, this rice, they took paddy out and put somewhere other places.
Yes.
So it means the new soul enter in that.
And last Prabhuji, in last 66 and 67 it is mentioned, if one worships the Lord even once, he attains the same bodily features as Vishnu. So that this is like for applicable for few people only or for everyone?
It's if some worship the Lord once, he can get that benefit.
So this means we all will be getting same body.
This worshipping the once, when? Before dying. Like Ajamil. Worshipping and then again committing mistakes, no benefit. Okay? Because of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Diti was completely purified. When she got up from bed, she saw her 49 sons along with Indra. These 49 sons were all the brilliant as fire and were in friendship with Indra, and therefore she was very pleased. (69) Thereafter Diti said to Indra, my dear son, I adhered to this difficult vow just to get a son to kill you. 12 Adityas. Not only you, all 12 Adityas. 70. I prayed for only one son, but now I see that there are 49. How has this happened? My dear son Indra, if you know, please tell me the truth. Do not try to speak lie. Honest talk. Indra, Uvacha. Indra said, "Oh my dear mother, because I was grossly blinded by selfish interest," again honest, "I lost sight of religion. When I understood that you were observing a great woe in spiritual life, I wanted to find some fault in you. When I found such a fault, I entered your womb and cut the embryo to pieces." So he was also honest, speaking truth. Srila Prabhupada writes, when Diti, Indra's aunt, explained to Indra without reservations what she had wanted to do, because Diti was truthful, because her heart was purified by the 1 year worship of Vishnu. Indra explained this, his intention to her. Thus both of them, instead of being enemies, freely spoke the truth. This is the qualification that results from contact with Vishnu. As stated in Srimad Bhagvatam 15, 18, 12, Yasyasi Bhagavati Bhakti Akinchana Sarvahi Guna Samasitahi Suraha. If one develops devotional attitude and become purified by worshipping the Supreme Lord, all the good qualities are certainly manifested in his body because of being touched by the worship of Vishnu. Both Diti and Indra were purified. When Diti spoke truthfully, Indra also spoke truthfully. Verse 72. Kirtvasmi saptadha garbho asan sapto kumaraka te pichaykansho vikrinaha saptadha napi mamirere. First I cut the child in womb into 7 pieces, which became 7 children. Then I cut each of children into 7 pieces again, but by the grace of Supreme Lord, however, none of them died. 73. My dear mother, when I saw that all 49 sons were alive, I was certainly struck with wonder. I decided that this was the second result of your having regularly executed devotional service and worship of Lord Vishnu. The second result. Primary result is your heart is purified. Srila Prabhupada writes, for one who engages in worshipping Lord Vishnu, nothing is very wonderful. This is a fact. In Bhagavad Gita it said, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanardhara Tatra Shri Vijyo Muti Dhruvanitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystic, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary powers, and morality. That is my opinion. Yogeshwar, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all mystic yoga, who can do anything and everything like he likes. This is the omnipotence of Supreme Lord. For one who pleases the Supreme Lord, no achievement is wonderful. Everything is possible for him. I determined 2.5 verses now explain Vishnu worship. Liberation is secondary result of worship. So in 2.5 verses, the philosophy spoken is the liberation is secondary if you worship Vishnu. Verse 74. Aradhanam bhagavattaha इयमानाः मिराशिषः ये तु निश्चिन्ति अपि परं ते स्वार्थ कुशलाः स्मृताः. Although those who are interested only in worshipping Supreme Personality of Godhead do not desire anything material from the Lord and do not even want liberation, Lord Krishna fulfill all their desires. Srila Prabhupada writes, when Dhruva Maharaj saw Lord Vishnu, he declined to take any benediction from him, for he was fully satisfied by seeing the Lord. Nonetheless, Lord is so kind that because Dhruva Maharaj in the beginning had desired a kingdom greater than his father's, he was promoted to Dhruva Lok, the best planet in the universe. Therefore, in the Shastra it is said, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udara di tivrena bhakti yogena purusham jajate purusham param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he is full of material desires, free from material desires, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship Supreme Lord, Personality of God. One should engage in full devotional service. This even though he has no desires, whatever desires he previously had can be fulfilled simply by his worship of the Lord. What do you think? You don't want now any desire, but if he has some desire previously, that will be also fulfilled. Does anybody has some experience like that? The actual devotee does not desire even liberation. Anyabhinashita sunyam. The Lord, however, fulfilled the desire of the devotee by awarding him opulences that will never be destroyed. A karmi's opulence is destroyed, but the opulence of the devotee is never destroyed. A devotee becomes more and more opulent as he increases his devotional service to the Lord. The question I asked is still valid. Yes, what was my question? You may not ask anything, but Krishna will fulfill your desire even you have something deep in your heart. There is the example here. Sudama went to Krishna. He never asked anything. Ultimately, Krishna has to ask, what is the gift you brought? But Krishna knew that his wife desired something. So Krishna fulfilled the desire of Sudama. Even Sudama did not ask. Right? Some other example? Right? Sudama never asked anything. He got the benefit, great benefit.
There's a question like this in for chapter 9. Is there not a need to ask the Lord for our material necessities? The answer is no, we don't need to ask the Lord for our necessities.
Sudama never asked. And Krishna was so really, he said, he's not asking, then I should ask what you have brought for me. Ultimately, Krishna has to ask Sudama. And he was hiding something which he had. And ultimately, Krishna has blessed Sudama.
I want to ask a related question here. So, in ISKCON, sometimes we have to raise funds for projects.
Even this is also.
Should we be asking people to donate?
Generally speaking, we can ask. My experience is this: I was organizing one Rath Yatra in Agra, and we had a last meeting. Next day was Rath Yatra, and they said, "Well, there's not enough amount that we can really do it successfully. There's a lot of deficit." So Krishna's function, Krishna's plan, whatever happened. And ultimately one person came and he said, this is a check, whatever is deficit, you just fill it and things will be done. But it happens. And yes, desire of devotee, even if he don't ask for, Krishna is too eager to fulfill his desires if they are for devotional service, not for sense gratification. Yeah, this is, if you want to build temple, Krishna, like Prabhupada, so much money Prabhupada says, come to me. No person in the world from 40 rupees has gone to 40 millions in 10 years. Because Krishna is giving unlimitedly, because I was not using a penny for my personal sense gratification. So Krishna can give you unlimited, provided you use it in service of Krishna.
You also have to be a pure devotee, right?
Huh?
You have to be pure devotee like Prabhupada.
Yeah, Prabhupada. So still our purpose is pure, then we are also pure devotee. Our purpose is pure. That we want this desire of Srila Prabhupada to be fulfilled, desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to fulfill, then purpose is pure. Then things will manifest.
Sometimes Krishna makes us struggle, like it doesn't.
Then we should be also happy. In success or failure, we should simply put our all energy to satisfy Krishna. Even failure is also pleases Krishna, that we did our all endeavor. We should not be attached to success or failure. Krishna provides definitely. And there's a one verse quoted here. Param means liberation. Those who desire liberation are ignorant of their own interest, desiring grass instead of great treasure available, because of the penance of the 6 great qualities in the Lord, presence of the 6 great qualities in the Lord, present before them, those who desire worship of the Lord are considered successful, not those who desire liberation. This is the verse from Bhagvatam 5:19-27. Lord certainly give desired objects to the devotees who request them, but He does not give in such a way that the devotee will ask again after finishing his enjoyment. He gives His lotus feet, which include all desirables, to those worshippers who do not desire material benefits. Last line. So, what is the point? Even if we desire something material from Lord, Lord will give that thing, but in the process of giving, He purify our heart. And then that desire even we don't like. So He purify the heart in the process. Verse number 75.
So what is the result here? That we should desire or not desire?
The devotee is desireless in the sense that he only desires to serve Krishna. So he is desireless because he has no personal desire. And he has all desires simply to serve Krishna. Aradhya atma param devam swatmanam jagatishwaram kovranita gunasa prasham buddha syam narake apiya. The ultimate goal of all ambition is to become the servant of Supreme Personality of Godhead. If an intelligent person serves the most dear Lord who gives himself to his devotees, how can he desire material happiness which is available even in hell? An intelligent man will never aspire to become a devotee to achieve material happiness. That is the test of a devotee. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches, na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmani ishware bhavatada bhakti ahituki tvai. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service. But the pure devotee never begs the Lord for material happiness in the shape of riches, followers, or a good wife, or even mukti. The Lord promises, however, yoga kshemam vahami aham. Voluntarily bring everything necessary for my service. If you want to serve Krishna, He will provide all necessary things. Devam here means the Lord who is absorbed in pastime. Says 66 verse. O my mother, O best of the women, I am fool, Indra says. Kindly excuse me for whatever offenses I have committed. Your 49 sons have been born unhurt because of your devotional service. As an enemy, I cut them to pieces, but because of your great devotional service, they did not die. Indra is honest. Verse 73, Shukadev Goswami is saying, Sukdev Goswami continued, Diti was extremely satisfied by Indra's good behavior. Then Indra offered his respect to his aunt with profuse obeisances, and with her permission he went away to the heavenly planet with his brothers, the Marutas. So they become demigods instead of demons. The last verse of this section. Evam te sarvam akhyatam yanmam tvam parichyasi mangalam marutam janma kimbhuyah katyami te. My dear King Parikshit, I have replied as far as possible to the question you have asked me, especially in regard to this pure, auspicious narration about the Marutas. Now you may inquire further as I shall explain more. Now the Parikshit will ask how to execute this vow of Punsavan. That is the next chapter. So we are end of the Bhaktivedanta purport. Hare Krishna. This our tomorrow's chapter is so small like this. Performing the Punsavan ritualistic ceremony, 24 verses, 1 to 24. Upon the request of Parikshit Maharaj, Sukdev Goswami described the rules and regulation of Punsavan Vart. And last 25 to 28 is the Shruti, Pal Shruti. Who hears this, what is the benefit? And then our assignment and your Bhakti Vedanta study is over. So any question or comment, or else tomorrow we will finish this in 2 sections. Now we have some presentation by our friend Neelamani ji.
Prabhuji, the one question though, so Diti wanted a son that would kill Indra.
Who? So what?
Diti wanted to have a son who would kill Indra. That was her request of Kashyap.
But her request was not honored, right? Kashyap promised her to give her a son.
Kashyap was knowing that I am giving her the process to become Vaishnava, and in the process so her heart will be purified and she will forgive Indra. So Kashyap was intelligent and he concluded like that. And I should not say no to her because I have promised, but I should give her some process by which her heart should be purified.
So that's he kind of tricked her.
So
But
that's what he did.
tricked her in a good way.
Yeah. So actually he fulfilled the desire of both Indra and Diti. Ultimately both become purified. And the best thing is that Diti got the 9 demigod sons, 49 demigod sons. So Marutas are Daityas, but they are respected as demigods because of our worship of the Vishnu. So
Prabhu, there is a question. Indra and Diti self-interested. They are actually self-interested. They had a self-desire. When both purified. The question is
both have a
why?
self-interest. Diti wanted a son to kill Indra. And Indra has a self-interest that I should kill Diti's son before he kills me. So both have a self-interest.
But both were purified. Why? That's the question.
Because Indra also was purified. He said, I am sorry, I came for this, please forgive me. So his heart was also purified. By serving a Vaishnava who is doing the Vaishnava Vrat. By serving Diti, when she was performing Vaishnava vow, Indra was also purified.
What was the reason behind that?
Reason?
Both were not selfish desires.
Both have a selfish desire, but both because was focused on Lord Vishnu, somehow their heart is purified and they become truthful, and then this whole episode is reconciled. Yeah, fine. Both were self-interest. Both were selfish. That's right.
There is one purport Prabhupada writes, even in the hell there is a material happiness. What kind of happiness we have in hell, I don't know.
Material happiness means having children or going to the heaven, getting wealth. That's called material happiness.
In the hell, what kind of happiness is there?
Oh, in hell or heaven, both are same. Because both are in material world. Oh, so many people are happy in hell. Yeah. Once there was some announcement, if you go to hell, you will suffer. There is no wine, there is no flesh, there is no. Oh no! If you go to the heaven, you will enjoy because there is no wine, there is no all these flesh. He said, we don't want to go to the heaven. What is it? All these things are hell. We are happy in hell because we get all these things there. So people want to go to the hell because they want the things which are for the demonic people, huh? Yeah, that's what?
Heaven means lower planets, I think.
I remember Prabhupada, there was once Prabhupada in London, he was asked, what is hell like? London is so cloudy and dull and gloomy. Prabhupada
This
said,
hell is
"What
like
heaven
London, huh? Hell is like London. Everything is dark. Yeah. So what hell is. And the people are thinking they are enjoying also there. Anyway, this human being is made in such a way by the Brahma that though he is suffering, he thinks I am enjoying. There is his mindset. So now we can have the presentation, or some questions are there?
I have two presentations ready, and third one will be ready next week. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to present.
Who is there?
I'm
Ajay?
not good at presenting.
Advait Krishna, yes, what is your question?
He has two
Oh no, I was
presentations.
just saying I have two presentations ready. One will be ready next week. So I want to present, but I'm not good at PowerPoints and all of that. But
You want to do the Panchamanta Vrita? You don't want to? Huh?
yes, because
Well, one year if you worship Radha Krishna with all these woes, it's good. You may not need liberation, but you might get love of God, no problem.
Okay, I don't know if
At
you-
least some people want to do Payo Vrita at least, which Aditi has done.
Nowadays people have started doing this. Payoga.
Yeah, Payo Vrita people are doing now.
Prabhuji, I don't think you understood his question, right?
Huh?
I don't think you understood Prabhuji's question.
No, what is saying?
He said he has two presentations ready when to present.
Oh, you have two presentation to present. Because your sound here is too echoed, so but online I am not hearing your sound because it's not in my computer.
Chapter 1 and chapter 2, and also chapter 3 with another couple of days.
Of the sixth canto,
Now he has canto 1, 2, and 3 presentation.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3.
canto 1, 2, and 3. You have three presentation ready.
Almost, yeah.
Okay.
1, 2 is definitely ready. Third, be ready in 2 days.
Okay, I think Shakti Swapani will organize this presentation sometime online. No problem. Welcome. Hare Krishna. So we have finished chapter 18. We have 28 verses ahead of completing Bhakti Vaibhav assignments.
Prabhuji, is it
Curriculum.
Is it possible to do those 28 verses in one
Yeah.
class tomorrow, and the other class we can use? for
Recording
presentation?
stopped.
I think it's not possible. I think already they have. I don't mind, but the point is, nobody will come in the evening. Then even I will not come for this.
Yes, we will go to Delhi in the afternoon only.
Huh? It's because there is a on-site class, so I'm coming. So it is better that we should finish some 15 verses in the morning and one presentation, and then the rest of the verses in the evening, and then finish the rest.